My XRP family. Boy, has it been a long time coming. God bless all of you guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We have a brand new all-time high for XRP, all the way up above $3.60. Now you're going to start to see some discrepancy on these exchanges. So let me know in the comments down below what exchange you are on, what tracker you're using. And we're going to be talking about XRP in charge of this bull run and continuing to just chug away. We dropped two updates earlier today as we watched XRP reclaim $3.30. I dropped another update just a few hours ago. We had tapped the previous all-time high of $3.40. I record the update. I dropped the update within 30 minutes. XRP's pumped above $3.50. So literally, as I'm uploading the video, we're getting these big swings. The news from an hour ago, the price from an hour ago, changing drastically as we're getting these massive swings of 10 cents or more for XRP right now. Massive volume coming in. We're starting to finally see positive inflows from Coinbase, Kraken, US exchanges, Binance, bigger exchanges for the rest of the world. The rest of the world is finally starting to turn bullish. America finally going to get crypto legislation. XRP finally going to get a spot ETF. XRP SEC versus Ripple lawsuit about to officially end for those that need their hand held to be taken across the finish line. They don't understand that the case is about to end. They don't know that XRP DeFi is about to boom. They don't understand that the XRP ledger is getting smart contracts. They have no idea on what the inflows that are coming our way are going to do to XRP price. No, it's not priced in. Yes, new all-time high for XRP is just the start. I was listening to DGens today pumping up XRP, explaining how, they got a new EVM sidechain. We're going to be able to bridge all of our liquidity over from Ethereum, bro, over to the XRP ledger. These degens are talking about bringing 1 billion of RWAs, real world assets, to the XRP ledger. They're talking about, I was thinking about doing it on Solana. Now maybe XRP ledger is an option. And, this is just one small story that I have of a bigger picture here from an institutional perspective. We are going to be laughing at those who wish to tokenize just 1 billion on the XRP ledger, as we're well on our way to tokenizing trillions on the XRP ledger. And the volumes that you're about to see on this ledger are going to be swinging up like a meme coin chart. We haven't seen nothing yet as far as activity on this ledger. And what retail will do is enough to pump us up to a new all-time high, get something cooking. Institutional inflows have not arrived yet. Full update tonight. We're going to break it all down, and I want to get to comments and questions. This is crunch time. You already should have been tapped in with us. You already should have subscribed to the channel. You already should have been getting all of the free alpha that we've been putting out here, trying to get folks prepared for this moment for over 4.5 years. I was reflecting back on where I was at in the previous cycle. I was talking with wifey. In 2021, I had just met the love of my life, and we were just getting started. XRP was in this bull run. It had popped up to $2 in April, and that was the top. Little did we know that was going to be the top of the XRP bull run in 2021. We definitely got cut off. We definitely got suppressed. That's all history. That's all gone. XRP's now been set free. But I think about where I was at in my life back in 2021, the man that I was or thought that I was, compared to the man that I am now, the business owner that I am now, the husband and father that I am now. God bless it. Are you kidding me? And now we have XRP breaking up into price discovery this bull run with so much gas left in the tank. The normal people just coming in don't get it. But I need to break this down for you guys so everybody understands what's going to take place. This is an interesting thing psychologically, how folks feel safe with a higher price for their entry. I know it's completely backwards. It's not how you make money. It's not how you knock it out of the park like we've already done, scooping it up at 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, 2-for-1 special, $1. Now we're at $2, $3. Will we ever go back to $2 or even $3 again? We start to ask these questions and have legitimate concerns about the answer to that question for those that are trying to get in. But for new people and folks from the traditional space, they feel more comfortable buying a $3 XRP that's out of a lawsuit with crypto regulations. Everybody else is coming in. This is the herd mentality. FOMO is so far away in this crypto bull run, especially for XRP. We are nowhere near as euphoric as we were after Trump got elected. And then in December, in January, we went up to that previous all-time high of $3.40. We're nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. Now, we've been consistent, pumping out XRP hype. We're just XRP moon boys that have to get our content out on a daily basis. But if you actually took the time to follow up with the education, the content, by taking decisive action to accumulate your bags of XRP and other utility cryptocurrencies that are now outperforming not just the rest of the cryptocurrency space, also the traditional Wall Street players are figuring out how to get caught up to speed with us. And you have the likes of Ripple, which is leading the charge in onboarding these institutions. My big concern with all of these other coins that I have is where's the institutional adoption? Yeah, you might have a little something cooking on the retail level, but where's the big money coming in? I'm focusing on investing in protocols that address trillion-dollar problems. That's what's happening right now with the XRP ledger. It's being spearheaded by Ripple, and a bottom-up approach, really, with Ripple just leading by example, and obviously they can have the biggest impact, but there's a whole network of developers and business owners and just investors ready to cut a check. We had no tools on our tool belt. The XRP ledger was only for banks. It was just for payments, and we didn't have DeFi. We didn't have NFTs, AMMs, Memecoins, DeFi, none of it. It's all happening now. And we're already at all-time high. We're already asking the question, will we ever see a $2 XRP again? I think that it's appropriate 100%. Just like I think it's appropriate, nobody can say anything about titling tonight's video, XRP Pump Live. I know pump is a word that triggers people. We debate what's a pump, what's a crash, what's a dip. Is your portfolio going up or down? If you're still waiting around for alt season, you're in the wrong bags. You need to check it. If you're still asking, is it alt season yet? 100%. And our portfolios are leading the charge with these proven utilities, not just still in concept, not just still talking about it. We are going live with Ripple partnering up with the Dubai Land Registry. Just one example of how we tokenize trillions on the XRP ledger. Once again, from Ripple, central banks, and governments to degens on the ground floor with 1,000 in their Twitter space today. And I'm just listening while I'm out doing a couple things, to over 1,000 degens learning about XRP. And you might laugh at that, but you combine all of this together from an inflow standpoint. This is why XRP's already reclaimed a new all-time high and why there's still so much left. I wanted to speak on how this past week, I completely underestimated how quickly we were going to pump up to these levels. Now, I cleaned up my chart, and I did draw my chart for you guys that showed us going to a $4 and a $5 XRP by the end of this month into the beginning of August, and a $7 to $15 XRP by the end of August into September. I underestimated how quickly we were going to recapture $3 and how quickly we were going to take down that previous all-time high. We just did it in what feels like a blink of an eye. I mean, this past week or so feels like 2-3 days. And the crazy part, as we've been pointing out, and I'm going to show you the order book inflows tonight, and I'm going to show you that we're finally turning bullish in America and across the rest of the world. This rally from $1.90 back on June 22nd to $3.60 today, less than a month. That swing was directly from Korea for the most part. We could maybe say that we got some inflows starting to come in today, July 17th, and yesterday, July 16th, from America and the rest of the world. So folks, without further ado, I'm going to check super chats real quick. We're going to go into the update. It's a quick update tonight, and then we're just watching the XRP Pump live, rapid fire Q&A, having ourselves a party, spreading the good word about this investment opportunity to those that we love and care about the most. And yes, they didn't listen to you when it was 30 cents. They're going to listen to you when it's $3, and they're going to thank you when it goes to $30. Do you understand? They don't want to hear it when it's 30 cents. They will listen at $3, and they're going to thank you at 30. Little do they know it could be going to 300. Uh-oh, whoa. We can't talk about that, can we? These guys, the market cap bros, are still trying to figure out how we got to 200 billion. Uh-oh. We can't talk about XRP at 20, 30 bucks, 50 bucks. A 3-digit XRP. I'll just stop right there before you guys get crazy in the chat. We can't talk about that, can we? Can we call it an XRP pump, though? How's everybody doing tonight? Let's go cheers. Let's go super chats, and then we'll go straight into the update. I want to get to your guys' questions, comments, and a little vibe check from the XRP family. How we doing? How we doing tonight, XRP family? God bless all of you guys. Thank you so much. Quick price check, $3.59. We just had a pullback to $3.54 after going all the way up here to about $3.66 on Qcoin is what I'm pulling. So $3.66 back down to $3.54, and now we're up to $3.59, looking to recapture $3.60 again. I mean, this is just so much strength on this XRP price chart. We've never seen anything like this. This is history in the making. We get to witness this together. History in the making. Millionaires are being made right now as we speak. People who've never made even 50,000 bucks in their life, you know, it's all relative. The person that's made their first 10,000 bucks, 50,000 bucks, to people in this community that I know and I've talked to, and don't tell me how much XRP you got in the chat. Keep that a secret. I know your phone's blowing up now with everybody calling, hey, how much of that XRP should I pick up? You say, well, when it was 30 cents and I told you to pick up, 10,000 for whatever that cost was, right? You should have listened. But the point being, we have community members here that are making millions, tens of millions. Believe it or not, there's people in this community that are making hundreds of millions of dollars. Just think about the valuation of Ripple for a second. This is a company with what, over 40 billion XRP? So, right, so 40 billion XRP times $4, that's 160 billion. Do you understand how ridiculous that statement is? Can we just stop for a second and understand how ridiculous that is? The company Ripple, let's just round off and say they have 40 billion XRP. At a $4 XRP, 160 billion? That's the net asset value of their XRP, not including RLUSD, not including the rest of their business, custody, everything else that they're doing. That's just the net asset value of their XRP bag. Went from literally less than 40 billion, right, when XRP was under $1. I'm just rounding off to make the math and the example simple for everybody to understand. When XRP went above $2, we're talking about how this bag went to 80, 90 billion. Now we're approaching $4. Do you understand this reality, folks? The masses don't. The masses have no idea that Ripple could IPO and have the largest IPO in the history of the world with ease. With ease. You want to discount the net asset value is 160 billion at $4 XRP, and you want to discount that because it's locked up in the escrow? Okay, sure. But even if you cut the valuation of that XRP in half, you're still at an $80 billion. And I don't think it's appropriate to do so. I don't think it's appropriate. If you want to discount it slightly, sure. But the market price of the XRP times however much they have is the current value. It's the net asset value, whether or not they can access it or not. The fact that they can't access it, you would think would add to the fundamental value because it restricts the supply of XRP, which is what's coming next, and that's the XRP supply shock. Let me check our super chats. If you guys haven't already, let's make sure that we've liked this video. Help us out by sharing it out far and wide. We already got over 5,000 people with us in the chat tonight between YouTube, X, and TikTok. This party's just getting started, and as long as XRP's pumping, we might have to stay up. We might have to do an all-nighter. I don't know. Are you guys locked in and ready for an all-nighter? How's our chat doing? Let's catch up. Super chats. Corey Avila, thank you for the 10 spot. Zach, do you have any of the McKenna whiskey left? As of today, I can afford to bring you an even nicer bottle next time I see you. Cheers, everyone. Thank you for everything you do, Zach. Corey, I was going to bust it out. I do still have some. And I was thinking of you, brother. It's a cooker out here in the Pacific Northwest, at least for us. I mean, I think it was only like 80s, maybe low 80s. The past couple of days, it did get up into, mid 80s, upper 80s. That's a cooker for us out here in the Pacific Northwest. So I got the fan running on me. I was running the AC all day trying to get it cool here in the office because I knew it was going to be a hot one, and I knew I was going to get excited. And I knew that if I started drinking whiskey, I don't know how long we'd be able to keep an appropriate stream going. I know you guys like when we have a little something, but I got to stay cool, calm, and collected for the most part. But I'm going to be busting out the rest of that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Corey, God bless you, brother. Tim King, thank you for the 5 spot. Let's go, Zach. Exciting times. Tim, thank you. Appreciate you. Hakeem, the Dream, 5 spot. The shackles have been taken off of XRP. All glory to God. We're all future millionaires and billionaires. Amen. From your lips to God's ears, or from your keyboard to God's ears, let it be true. God bless. Toasted, thank you for the 2 spot. Wait for the SEC and CBDC clarity passing Senate. Yep. Genius Act tomorrow into law by President Trump. And then next week, most likely, we'll see anti-CBDC and the market clarity. Clarity, that's the Market Structure Act. That should be next week. Charles Brewer, thank you for the 20 spot. God bless you guys. Dennis, thank you so much. Yeah, we don't have any room or time for these XRP full-time fudsters to be around. It's incredible that some of them have the audacity to still want to try to hang around. I don't want to waste any breath on them. I don't want to spend any time of tonight's show on them. They're all irrelevant to me. And I agree that we should not give attention to any of these guys that were literally part of fudding people out of their XRP bags. That's why I'm not going to say the name, Dennis, and we're just not going to give them any of our attention, any of our time. Tonight, we celebrate. And we don't got time to look in the rearview mirror. The damages that they've committed, they're going to have to take that up with their maker. Fudding a lot of people out of your XRP is a big sin, but I'll let them take it up. I'm going to let them take it up with their maker, but I think it's wrong. I think it's sad, and we're not going to give them any airtime anymore, are we? Nope, they're done. They're toast. Their reputations. See ya. TK 20 spot. Appreciate you, Zach. Been a sub since 2022. You've been super consistent, and I can't thank you enough. TK, you have as well with your support, brother. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Dennis, 2 spot. 100%. No IPO needed. The bag just continues to grow. As XRP price continues to rise, that valuation on Ripple just goes higher and higher. It's the largest IPO in the history of the world with ease if they do it, but they're not in a position where they need to, which makes them even stronger. Ripple doesn't need to IPO. Deborah, thank you for the 20 spot. Thank you so much, Deb. Larry, 5 spot. You need to get some Buffalo Trace bourbon. I think I've had some Buffalo Trace. Not bad. Not bad. But like I said, when we do these live shows for over an hour or two, we'll see how long the party goes tonight. Got to behave myself, you know what I'm saying? Chosen One Collecting, thank you for the 2 spot. I hope clarity and anti-CBDC act pass. They will. 100%. Now, anti-CBDC, that might get hung up a little bit, but there's no reason why the clarity act shouldn't pass market structure. The Senate's ready to go. I think that they'll pass that here shortly. The anti-CBDC, I worry about how that's going to get done. But from my understanding, there already was some language in the Genius Act, the stablecoin legislation that President Trump will sign into law tomorrow, that already included some restrictions of the Fed. And to me, I just laugh at this whole show, this whole DC dance. We're talking about anti-CBDC bill. Well, how about anti-central bank? How about end the Fed? Let's have a real conversation, not just flirt with it. I'm not here to flirt with what the Fed's doing or shouldn't be doing. You want to have a conversation about it, let's get real. What are we doing with the Federal Reserve controlling our monetary policy? Show me where that's at in the Constitution. You can't. Ryan Bolin 10 spot. Yo, we're bringing the U.S. debt to zero soon. I got 40 trillion mini Bitcoin for President Trump to pay it. Bye-bye inflation. Yeah, you know, I'm still waiting to see what happened. People are telling me, oh, no, they didn't sell off their Bitcoin. They still got Bitcoin. I was listening to Bitcoin Maxis coping today in a space about how, you know, they're still waiting for the government to buy Bitcoin. And their excuse was the government was waiting for legislation to pass. And now they're going to start buying Bitcoin. We'll see how that theory plays out. I mean, I kind of, it makes a little bit of sense to me because the Democrats and others, really it's mostly been Democrats that have been attacking President Trump profiting, right? And so if if we started to accumulate Bitcoin and these other cryptos for our stockpile and reserves, they try to spin that some way, some form, some fashion of this is how President Trump gets rich. And, Elizabeth Warren is out here literally saying that crypto is going to blow up the entire economy in the New York Stock Exchange. If crypto can take down the New York Stock Exchange, maybe the New York Stock Exchange and the assets traded on that platform are a little overvalued and due for a correction. Where's the strength at? And there is plenty of strength in our markets, and an absolute fear-mongering tactic by Elizabeth Warren, the preferred method of spewing her BS and holding back America from the golden age and becoming the leader in digital assets across the world. I don't know how anybody could support her and the policies that she stands for. But the good news is that we have raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and this is part of the reason why they're in a complete meltdown. Because as we go into this crypto bull run, we'll have even more money to contribute in these political campaigns to make sure that we get people in there that are going to fight for sound money and an America First agenda. Okay? Now, MJ, thank you for the 10 spot. Purchase Circle and Ripple on Linqto. Will I get price appreciation through the bankruptcy? MJ, I have an update on Linqto. I'm going to share it here in a few. I want to answer your question, though, so let me just get it out of the way now, because the Linqto is a negative situation, so I just want to get it out of the way now. And since you asked the question, let me respond. If you've watched my most recent interviews with Rob Cunningham, then you have kind of the update on what's taking place. What happened today is we confirmed that Dan Siciliano, the new CEO in this new management, they are moving to take all of the shares from the accredited and the non-accredited. My fear was that this is the worst case scenario, is that they try to take all of the shares from everybody. That's the move. They're going all in. The good news, and I have good news to report on this particular situation from Rob Cunningham. He says, I love you, Linqto, Ripple, and XRP family. The good news is that the court has granted our emergency request and set the venue transfer motion for hearing on August 5th at 1 p.m. Local counsel is preparing a notice. So if you saw the interview that I did with Rob, you'll see that Wall Street Journal is starting to pick it up. I think Bloomberg picked it up too. Linqto investor alleges company manufactured Texas venue for bankruptcy case. So basically the largest shareholder, from my understanding, of Linqto is a lawyer or has a law firm, Sapien Group. And anyways, they filed a motion suggesting that this new management, the new CEO, formed an LLC in Houston, the Houston jurisdiction down there in Texas, so that they could file bankruptcy there 90 days later. They didn't even give time for the new entity to season and actually, become a legitimate entity. And they just formed this new LLC in this jurisdiction so that they could file the bankruptcy, take Linqto, a company with no debt and over $2 billion in equity and growing by the day, into a bankruptcy process to basically take the shares. This is a hostile takeover of Linqto. They have gone all in. But the good news is that this investor, the major shareholder, is looking to change the venue back to Delaware, where the original entity was formed. and away from this Houston jurisdiction, which is known for allowing some shady stuff to go through with bankruptcy filings and processes specifically. So this was a well-orchestrated plan from the looks of it, from what I've been able to gather so far. Worst case scenario was they were going to try to take all the shares. That's what they're trying to do. The good news, don't be down, don't think that it's over, is that there's some smart lawyers and big money behind fighting like hell to make sure that they don't. This is another attack on the XRP community, specifically Ripple shareholders, because that's the big equity on that platform, amongst the rest of it too. But the Ripple equity alone is worth over $800 million most likely. And with XRP's new price, we could probably say that Ripple valuation is over $1 billion. Over $1 billion in equity. They're going for it all. And so if you wanted further proof of how valuable people are actually, the real fundamental value of Ripple equity and stock, this is what private equity profiteers are willing to do. Hostile takeover all the way in, completely eliminate everybody that invested on that platform and created billions in equity for themselves through proper investments in good, solid companies, early stage startups that are set to go IPO. And I just broke down the Ripple valuation and how big it is. Okay. Full-blown attack. So let's get that out of the way. Bad news, but MJ, best case scenario, everybody receives their money back. Worst case scenario, it looks like they're going for all of the shares. So we're going to have to continue to put up a fight. John Deaton's working. I know this Sapien group's working on it as well too. We'll keep you guys updated as we go. Okay. Let me catch up on the rest of our super chats here. Dark Rider. You guys are making it rain. Let me catch up quickly. Dark Rider, thank you for the 5 spot. Hello, Zach. Can you talk about President Trump 9 trillion inflow? Yep, that's one of my data points for tonight. Even if 2% of that flows into XRP, what are we looking at? We'll talk about the inflows. We'll talk about the 9 trillion here shortly. Thank you for the super chat. Luis Villanueva, I don't hold much, but I am so stoked for what I hold. Welcome to the family, Luis. God bless you. Action Speaks, praying on that 20,000 per XRP. Amen, brother. Amen. I mean, even just XRP at $20 is life-changing for many people in our community. You talk about $200. If we start having a real good time and we start being able to have some real, be accountable for some real change across this planet, when XRP just goes up to $20-30, let alone higher prices, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're definitely going to be changing the world. I can't wait for that part of the story. See, we're out of the storm, the fight, the climb, and on the other side of this thing, there's going to be some good stories to be shared. The impact that you and me, we're going to have together, I'm really looking forward to it. Melanie, thank you for the 10 spot Canadian. Thank you. Steve Roars, thank you for the 50 spot. Been following you for years. Thanks for your cast. Very appreciated, Steve. Thank you. That's a big one. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. MDF 20. SEC waiting on Congress. ETF approval coming right behind the Clarity Act. It's perfect timing. CNBC, CNN, whoever else, Fox Business, decides to actually cover the Ripple case, will be able to tell everybody, the masses that need to be walked through this and have their hand held. Yes, my friend, the XRP case is finally over. XRP is not a security of Ripple. Let me explain to you the difference between XRP, the cryptocurrency, and the digital currency, and Ripple, the company, right? We can walk them through that process, and you no longer have to address the lawsuit as you onboard new people, which was a big, we're set free. There's no more excuses. The ETF dropping is the final one because, as we're going to mention, President Trump's going to unlock 9 trillion of retirement accounts that'll be able to invest in crypto. And then once the spot ETFs for XRP go live, there's no excuse. Everybody will be able to get exposure to XRP. Whether you're in a retirement account, whether you're just looking to pick up a little bag. Now, are people going to be priced out? People already are getting priced out of the bags that they dreamed of, but now this starts to move very quickly. And by the way, we really have nothing to go off of but the 2017 fractal. That's all we have to go off of is how we behaved during that time frame of the 2017 bull run. Comparing that with now, we're in price discovery, all-time high. We've never been here before. We've never closed a daily candle above $3.47, which is what we did today. Massive. Yeah, so we're at 357 right now. We'll get into the update here shortly. I saw just a couple more super chats. MDF, yep, got you. Daniel, thank you. I have a large amount of XRP I bought when under $1 on multiple exchanges. Thinking of buying a new bag on Robinhood at current prices. Thoughts? I don't like Robinhood at all, especially for crypto. I just sent more XRP to Caleb and Brown. That's where I'm moving my XRP. I'm trading Coinbase futures. I have a bag of crypto on Uphold, but right now, I'm putting new capital to work on Caleb and Brown myself. I don't like Robinhood. Okay. Al Nay, thank you for the 5 spot. I am mentally ready for the correction. What do you think that number will be? We have to see the high side targets first. It's too early to tell what the new floor price is going to be on XRP. We need to see where we top out at. Isaac Sipes, thank you for the 2 spot. You see that Portnoy sold all his XRP at 230? He did? Fatal mistake. Fatal mistake. And that's good. You know, that's a good lesson for Dave. Many people are going to learn the hard way with XRP what this asset truly is. A lot of these guys just think, oh, this is just another crypto, right, bro? Oh, I invested $1 million. Now I got 2 or 3 million. See, guys like that, they're happy, right? Because that's just gambling money for a guy like Dave, right? So, you know, you throw $1 million, you flip it to a couple million, you're happy as can be, and you pull it out, having no idea what you actually invested in the entire time. And he started to explain XRP. So I don't know if that's true. I'd have to fact check you on that. I don't know. Is that true that he sold all of his XRP at 230? I feel bad for the people that had to. I feel bad for the people that got fudded out of their XRP. Fatal mistake. Thomas Sutton, thank you for the 5 spot. Hey, brother, did you see the X post about completed blockchains, Bitcoin? Yeah. Because XRP holds 40 billion. What do you think? Yeah, that's another paper. And, you know, you got people that are trying to put these cryptos in certain constructs. Oh, because Ripple still holds 40 billion. It's not a completed layer 1. It doesn't matter. It means nothing. That document, is just trying to, put some structure to things. That's coming from people who have no idea, really what Ripple's doing, how the escrow works, the ecosystem. The layer 1 is complete and growing with additional amendments and capabilities being added to it. That's the whole joke of it, is that the XRP ledger was a completed blockchain back in 2012. So to say that it's not a completed blockchain today is the most ignorant thing you could say. It was completed back in 2012. But, once again, why is the government trying to buy Bitcoin? I don't even think that they really are, right? But people in government do stupid things. Government studies sometimes are full of skewed data. Yeah, so I wouldn't put any value on that. It's just not factual from a technical standpoint. So I would disregard. Once again, from President Trump, what's the first crypto that's going to be added to the strategic reserve? XRP. Until I hear something different from President Trump, that's the policy. XRP was mentioned first. Susan, thank you for the 10 spot. If you had 200,000 in a 401k that you can't access unless you quit your job, you're in your late 50s, single, no, we're getting a lot of context here on this story. House and car paid for, no debt. Would you quit your job to invest that money in XRP? I can't give you financial advice, Susan. I cannot give you financial advice. It sounds like you're in a good spot to make some investments, though. 200,000 in XRP. right? How much is that going to get you right now? That's incredible to go through the numbers now. What 200,000 would have got you? Oh boy, it's tough looking back and where we're at now. You know, especially for those of us that picked up all our bags under 50 cents. You know, I can't give you financial advice, but Susan, you've made it to the XRP family. For us, in what I've done is I've laid out my fundamental case. I've combined that with the technical analysis. So the number goes higher from here if you just want where I think it goes. And I've been firm on my targets of 20 to 30 bucks this cycle. This cycle is not the end of the story, though. The end of the story, I think, could definitely take us to much, much higher prices in the double digits and even triple digits. I've always held that XRP could do $100 plus in today's US dollar, terms. So any investment in the asset now, in my opinion, would probably appreciate, but I can't give you financial advice. Okay. But welcome to the family. Big Easy, thank you for the 5 spot. And let me add some one more piece of context for everybody. Whether you're looking to acquire XRP or you already got big bags, you need to be liquid, and we need to make sure that we're not so stressed out and drowned out in debt that what we're making on XRP doesn't set us free. We're looking for freedom, or at least I am, right? We want freedom. We want to be out of debt. We don't want to have stress. So if you have an amount of XRP that you can sell to quit your job, get out of debt, add another 10 years to your life because you're getting out of a situation, whatever that may be, I would say that investment's probably worth it, right? But everybody's in a different spot. And I think that XRP still goes a lot higher. Once again, when you hear me talking about setting up targets, I just set new targets on Caleb and Brown today to sell XRP. And I told my Discord group what those targets were. I will not repeat them publicly. But I just set 2 new targets to sell some of my XRP. But it's XRP that I wouldn't have had if it wasn't for the XRP meme coins. I got lucky rolling the dice. And so now I have a little bit of XRP that I can sell that has nothing to do with my long-term holdings. So I just want to give you guys that context as a content creator with a lot of eyes on me and asking, what are you doing, Zach? Well, I'm selling XRP that I made from meme coins. That's just part of my trading bag. To me, that's about making more dollars. I'll go trade futures. I'll go trade XRP memes. We went and flipped Zebek. We'll go play other ones. That's a trading bag separate from my long-term holdings of XRP and other utility cryptocurrencies. And I just want to provide that context when you guys hear me talk about selling XRP. Really, I'm still holding, most of my bag. 90% plus. Big Easy, thank you for the 5 spot. I've heard whispers among coin shops of crypto guys taking profits this year and wiping out the physical silver market, though. Thoughts on this? I've been stacking silver for a couple years. I'm looking to get into gold too. And we've been, this has been part of our program. Now, I definitely don't take from crypto to go into precious metals, because to me, it's 2 different sides of my portfolio. My crypto is on my offensive side of my portfolio, while the precious metals is on my defensive side. So it's just, they're 2 different investment buckets and they don't commingle, right? Crypto's in risk on, offense, precious metals is defense. And I've been saying, though, our defensive measures, gold and silver, have been outperforming Wall Street's offensive plays. That's how strong the metals have been for our community. Big Easy 5 spot. Yep, I just got you there. Golden Days, $30 from Australia. Thank you. Watching from Australia. What a fun ride it has been with the XRP family. Thank you so much, guys. We're all caught up. Let's get into the update, guys. All 3 crypto bills have passed the House: Clarity Act, Genius Act, and the Anti-CBDC Act. Now remember, the Genius Act, which is the stablecoin legislation, already passed in the Senate. So today it passed in the House. President Trump can sign it into law tomorrow, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing tomorrow afternoon at the White House. America will have stablecoin legislation, a matter of national security that should have been passed years ago, will finally be passed into law. Now, the Clarity Act, which is broader market structure bill, and the Anti-CBDC Act, those are going to have to go to the Senate now. Upon getting passed in the Senate, they would move to President Trump's desk. So that might not be till next week, depending on how quickly the Senate can get together. I haven't seen anything on the Senate getting together right now, though, for tomorrow. So I think we'll be waiting till next week. And there is some talk of the Anti-CBDC Act being included within the National Defense Authorization Act. So we'll be watching that one. Okay? Now, President Trump is set to sign an executive order as soon as this week that would allow 401k retirement plans to invest in crypto. See, I didn't even really understand this because I thought that you already could, right? I've seen platforms like I Trust Capital and others that have already given people access to crypto through retirements, and I thought that included 401ks. So I don't know. I already thought that this was a thing, but apparently it's not. And this is going to open up $9 trillion worth of capital for alternative investments like crypto, gold, and private equity. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're investing in. Offensive plays are crypto and private equity. Our defensive plays are precious metals. $9 trillion worth of capital. You see what's happening now, folks. We're already up to nearly a $4 XRP before these floodgates get opened up. And I mean, it's just, imagine, one dam after another that's now just getting demoed. And here's $9 trillion for 401ks in America. Here's, hundreds of billions of inflows that are going to come from ETFs. That dam drops. That dam opens up. You want to talk about watch the water. We're about to see liquidity into this asset like never before. Now, also, multiple Congress members to criminally refer Jerome Powell to the Department of Justice. It looks like the play on Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, is going to be the rehab construction project, the little fixer-upper that they did with the Federal Reserve headquarters building there, I guess, in D.C. Now, apparently, it was a $2 billion project. Who knows what happened? Once again, why do we even have a Federal Reserve? We're looking for some nuanced way to get them on, criminal charges here, instead of just saying, hey, why do we even have this institution at all? Anti-CBDC bill, why not just get rid of the central bank? But multiple Congress members have now criminally referred Jerome Powell to the Department of Justice. Are we going to see actual charges brought against Jerome Powell? I mean, at first it was like, we're just calling Jerome Powell too late. We're making fun of him. He had embarrassed himself, saying inflation was going to be transitory. And, the back and forth and the hemming and hawing. And, he gets to stand there in front of us and try to pretend that he won the fight against inflation. And it was all in good fun. And now it's quickly moving to criminal charges being brought against Jerome Powell potentially. We'll see what happens here. But you got senators calling for him to be fired, for him to step down. He's in the hot seat, but it's like these guys want to play out the role. No, we're the independent Fed. You can't fire me. We're at the Federal Reserve. We spend $2 billion on rehabbing our building, which most of them probably don't even work at. They're probably working from home. But we'll see what happens. From, hey, Jerome Powell, can you just cut us interest rates to now we're just going to have to criminally charge you for the fraud that you committed with the building rehab. It's quite an escalation. But folks, let's get in here because you need to understand something. XRP went to $3.84 on one exchange back in 2018. And I used to mistake this as well, too, thinking that the previous all-time high for XRP was $3.84. But, when you look at all of the exchanges across and there wasn't as many exchanges as there is now, but the exchanges that were around back then in 2017, 2018, most of them, the previous all-time high was $3.40. It was this exchange out of Korea, Upbit, the one that's been accounting for all of the inflows over the past week, that took XRP up to $3.84 on that exchange. But there was some people say no XRP actually bought or sold at that level, that it was just what's considered the kimchi premium that was happening on one exchange over in South Korea that took the price to 384. And for some reason, the aggregators like CoinMarketCap and others pull that in and they report 384 as the all-time high. But if you look at the Coinbase chart, the Bitstamp chart, it's 340 on all of those. Okay? And actually XRP wasn't even on Coinbase in 2018, I don't believe. But if you look at, Bitstamp and others, all those, it was 340. 340 for XRP. But X-Force Global says, if history is any guide, this bull run may not have truly started for XRP yet. The fact that this move is happening while the kimchi premium is only at about 2% suggests that Korean retail participation is still largely absent. Many might still be sidelined as we speak, which is incredible to consider because we've already seen so much in inflows from Korea. And so the fact that the kimchi premium is not even that high right now is another data point that there's still a lot of gas left in the tank here. Now, don't take it from me, guys. This is from David Schwartz explaining what happened, just to provide clarity for everybody. I'm just some guy, but David Schwartz, he's one of the 3 creators of the XRP ledger and XRP, a lot smarter than me. I'll take it from him. He explains that is often reported as the all-time high, but you could not actually sell XRP for 384, nor did you have to pay 384 for it. That number included inflated amounts due to the use of official currency exchange rates for Korean exchange rates. So basically, the Korean won was running away, and XRP on those exchanges against the Korean won was running away. When you convert it into US dollars, it was pulling 384, but nobody ever actually had to pay for 384 XRP or sell at 384 XRP. It was 340 on most platforms. So today, when we went up to 340 and broke through, we can now say that we are at an official all-time high for XRP. Just a little history point. It's caused some confusion lately. And, the best part about this, guys, is that we're going to be looking back and laughing over debating, what was the all-time high, or caring what the previous all-time high was, $3, $4, $5 XRP, after that's long gone. And we look back and we think, oh man, I should have bought more XRP under $3. Should have bought more XRP under $5. I thought it was so high, right? We're going to be talking about how a $5 XRP seems so high. We couldn't buy $5 XRP because we stacked our bag under 50 cents. And then we'll be sitting at some of those high prices that I won't mention or talk about. We wouldn't dare do that. But you're going to see an arbitrage opportunity between these exchanges as the price continues to run up, where Coinbase is going to be different from Kraken, different from Binance. RLUSD versus XRP on the XRP ledger is going to be different. Somebody pulled, a few people, maybe it was one or maybe it was a few people, pulled a bunch of liquidity out of the XRP versus RLUSD AMM. It went from being like the number 3 liquidity pool in dollar value to being like number 8. I saw that Dr. Arthur from XP Market had posted that, and he showed the transactions, the AMM withdraw transactions from the XRP ledger, XRP scan, and it showed huge, massive withdrawals of over $400,000 in liquidity, and they were withdrawing XRP and RLUSD, and the dollar values were 6 figures, and there was multiple transactions, AMM withdraw over 6 figures. And the reason why that person probably did that is because as XRP appreciates against RLUSD, you want to hold XRP. So if you're in the pool, you're going to be earning more RLUSD as XRP appreciates against it. So the time when I'm going to take a look at going into the XRP versus RLUSD liquidity pool on the AMM is when XRP's topping out. And then I could throw a little bit of XRP. I could single side deposit with just XRP, or I could double side deposit with XRP and RLUSD. But either way, you're going to do that at the top. And then as the dollar is appreciating against XRP, you're going to be earning more XRP back. I can explain that further in a different video, but that's just the basics of how the AMM works. And so, but the point being, as I get back to the liquidity on exchanges versus the liquidity on the DEX, we're still in the infancy of the XRP Ledger AMM and DEX activity. I mean, we've had the AMM for over a year now, but there's still very little actual money, dollar value in it. And all it takes is a few participants in the liquidity pool to pull out $500,000 or $1 million in liquidity, and the liquidity pool dumps in half. But I'm still keeping that as one of my options open for taking profits on XRP this bull run, is just using the XRP Ledger DEX to go straight into RLUSD. And then I'll just use, the DEX to go back into XRP as we bottom out. Now, what's incredible to watch here is that we're finally just turning bullish from an inflow standpoint, from hard data. This is not me just taking a vibe check of the community, even though the vibe in the community is back. We are so back. It is so great. Everybody's loving being in the XRP family. The new people are trying to join in. But from a data standpoint on the order books and the inflows, we finally turned real bullish across the rest of the world and America. Take a look at the coinglass.com data on the spot inflows for XRP. Now the volume's way up. Volume on Binance up by 2.42 billion, Upbit 2 billion, Coinbase 1.18 billion. In fact, before I started up the live here tonight, I saw that XRP had the most amount of volume on Coinbase once again. Another indicator of America finally getting bullish on XRP. Back to the data, here's your net inflows on this side. So in the past 24 hours, we saw 166 million in inflows on Upbit. Net inflows, I should say. Net inflows of 80 million on Coinbase, 59 billion on Binance. Kraken, 49 billion. Sorry, I meant to say million. If we were seeing 49 billion of inflows, we'd be talking about a triple-digit XRP. We'd be talking about XRP at 589. My apologies. We're talking about tens of millions in inflows here. 166 million on Upbit. Now, you still had outflows from OKX and Bybit. So we scroll on down here, and this takes us to the spot inflow and outflow data for the past couple days. Let me zoom in for you. What you will see here today, July 17, 2025, the day has officially ended from a charting standpoint. It ends at 8 p.m. Eastern, midnight Universal Time, UTC. And so for the day, we tallied up 21 million of inflows July 17th today. Yesterday, we tally up 116.88 million in inflows. So combined over the past 2 days, we have, let me get out I got a little tiny sticky notepad with my math here for you. Total, we have 138 million in net inflows for XRP the past 2 days, today and yesterday. Now, this led to XRP's market cap growing by 38.51 billion. So to do the market cap multiplier equation, what we do is we take this right here, 38.51 billion divided by 138 million, and it gives us a multiplier of 279. So we're finally starting to see positive inflows. I mean, once again, I go back to this chart right here, and you can see that last week, I mean, look right here, July 15th, 51 million in outflows, 90 million in outflows on July 14th. July 13th, we had 27 million in outflows. I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 days of straight outflows while XRP was still appreciating. Why is that happening? Because the buyers are so aggressive that they're overpowering the few people that are pulling out money. Now they're pulling more money out of XRP, but the price is still going up because there's so many buyers coming in that are willing to pay a higher and higher price. In the past 2 days, right, we have 138 million in inflows, 38.51 billion in market cap growth, giving us a market cap multiplier of 279, demonstrating once again for the market cap bros that need their hand held that for XRP to reach a $200 billion market cap, just like it did today, it did not need 200 billion in inflows. For XRP to reach a $1 trillion market cap, it does not need another 800 billion in inflows. Based off of our calculations, it probably needs 1/100th of that number in market cap growth. Right? So if we need to grow by 800 billion, we only need 80 billion in inflows, maybe less. If you're using a 279x multiplier, it's substantially less in inflows. So you can look at this multiplier equation, in a snapshot over an hour. You could look at a 4-hour window. What I'm demonstrating for you guys right here is over the past 2 days, we only had 138 million flow into XRP, and it's taken us up by 38.5 billion. It's just hard data. Now, I asked Grok to double check what the ETF inflows on Ethereum were, and it provided me this data point right here. Wasn't able to capture the inflows for today, July 17th, and I probably actually could find it on CoinGlass. I'm sure that it's on there. But on July 16th, yesterday, the spot Ethereum ETFs recorded a record-breaking single-day net inflow of 726 million, the highest since their launch in July of 2024. So 726 million of inflows into the Ethereum spot ETFs. Almost 500 million into the BlackRock ETF alone. 113 million into Fidelity's and 33 million into Grayscale's Ethereum ETF. Over 726 million in inflows for Ethereum. Now, just because I'm curious, I'm curious to see how much Ethereum grew yesterday. Let's take a look here at this chart. So is that that was July? Okay, so this is the day that we would be going off of, July 16th, right here. So let's just go from the bottom of the wick all the way to the top. That's 300. Okay, this is no, this is ETH versus US dollar. No. I'm looking for the market cap chart. There it is. Okay. Market cap of ETH. Here we go. July 16th. Bottom of the wick to the top of the wick. We'll give them the full 38.5. Basically the same amount of market cap growth as XRP. But it took, once again, 726.74 million of inflows to get 38 billion. $38.57 billion. And we saw 38.51 billion. That was 2 days for XRP. So that was 2 days of inflows and market cap growth for XRP versus 1 day, July 16th for Ethereum. 726 million in inflows. Let me do some quick math here. 38.57 billion. 726.74 million. $53x multiplier for Ethereum that day. Much smaller. Because you go 38.57 billion in market cap growth, July 16th, divided by 726 million in inflows. Now, that was actually just the ETFs. So what you would actually need to go do now too is go to Ethereum. and calculate the rest of the exchanges too. So you had even more inflows, I'm guessing, from the Ethereum. The Ethereum inflows had to have been even more. I'm pulling this up right now. 43 million in outflows. So there was actually net selling of Ethereum on the public exchanges. Okay. But what we're demonstrating here is a 53x multiplier for Ethereum with ETFs and centralized exchanges, and we're not including DEX volume as well too. But it took 700 million plus in inflows into Ethereum to get 38 billion of market cap growth, versus it took 138 million for XRP to get 38.51 billion in market cap growth over 2 days for XRP. So it's not a perfect apples to apples, but it demonstrates to us once again how much easier it is to move XRP right now versus Ethereum, and especially versus Bitcoin as well too. Somebody says my ETH wallet is in the red this morning. I'm just checking the chat real quick. If you guys haven't already, make sure that you like this video. Help us out by sharing it out far and wide. But I'm showing you right now the hard data on how easy it's going to be to move XRP to these higher prices. Once we get our spot ETFs live and we start to see 700 million of inflows in a day, I mean, we're going to be talking about XRP growing by hundreds of billions in market cap. And the market cap bros are going to be clicking away on their calculator trying to figure out how we did it. You can send them my videos. Now, one quick note here, guys, check this out. I want to clarify for everybody. If you have been looking to check out Caleb and Brown, but hesitant because you think that you're dealing with the Australians, and although we love our Aussie friends in the chat, we got many Aussies that listen to us, we worry about your government. So I know that some people have been hesitant, but I want to clarify for everybody that actually, if you're a U.S. client of Caleb and Brown, you're actually going to be within their U.S. entity. So Caleb and Brown puts out this post, meet Andrew G. He is the senior crypto broker at Caleb and Brown with 10 plus years in finance, and he is now leading our East Coast office. He's delivering human first crypto service wherever you are. And what they're announcing is the East Coast office in Florida. So they're going to be setting up shop in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I was actually talking with Jim and Jake from Caleb and Brown in XRP Las Vegas, and these guys were just hustling the whole weekend in Vegas, meeting with clients. They're meeting with our community members. I went to their, we had some drinks at the Wynn with them, and catching up with everybody. It was a great time. And then they were telling me that they were heading off to Florida after this to continue working and set up their Florida office. So many people have been hesitant. Oh, Caleb and Brown, they're in Australia. I can't trust some platform in Australia. I understand your concerns, but actually for the U.S. clients, you're actually going to be within their U.S. entity. And then furthermore, you're getting institutional custody through Fireblocks. So, this is a level of service that's really unmatched right now. I'm not seeing anybody else that's offering personalized brokerage service and institutional grade custody for free. Nobody else is doing that. And so I just want everybody to know that they have options for community resources. I've been nothing but pleasantly pleased with Caleb and Brown so far. I just loaded up more XRP on Caleb and Brown. I just set some sell orders over there, and you can either call up your broker, send them an email, or what I do is now I know how to use their platform, no problem. And so I just set my limit orders on their platform. And I actually had a test transaction, a sell order for XRP today that I had placed back on January 27th. This is a bag of XRP that I made from memes. And so I'd placed an order to sell it on Caleb and Brown back on January 27th, just because I'm testing out their liquidity, seeing how well that they can handle it. They handled it flawlessly. And then furthermore, every time I've gone to pull money off of their platform, they've had it in my bank account next day. So go check it out. They now are within the United States. You're dealing with, people now stationed in America, and they have the money transmitter licenses to cover all of the jurisdictions except New York. Now they've pulled out of Canada, unfortunately, and they also don't service the UK. But once again, I'm just letting you guys know of another community resource that I'm using. Not saying to just use them, not saying to send all of your XRP. Once again, nobody gets my XRP. Long-term holdings are long and gone. You can just go ahead and remove them from circulation, okay? But the XRP that I do want to take some profit on, I've sent that to Caleb and Brown. And along with some of the other platforms that we're going to use, we'll set our orders, hope and pray, and we'll see who gets to take care of business. But I'm already seeing some exchanges having some issues. And please, I want to get to your Q&A, but mark my words, it is going to be ugly out there as far as liquidity on exchanges, as far as being able to sell not just your XRP, but other cryptos at the top. It's going to get ugly out there. So I'm not going to tell you which platform to use. I just encourage having options. Having options. That's what I'm about. Okay. Now, let's get into rapid fire Q&A. How is the XRP family doing tonight? God bless all of you guys. Tom, thank you. Does anybody remember laughter? Let's have ourselves a laugh, huh? Speaking of laugh, that's the shirt that I got on tonight. Laugh now, but one day XRP will power the world. Laugh now, but one day XRP is going to pump. That's what we were telling them for the past 6 years. Laugh now, one day XRP is going to pump. Look at us now. Tom, thank you. Fly Fishing, Jeremy, 5 spot. Zach, here's $5. Hopefully tomorrow it will only buy you 1 XRP. I think you're onto it. I think a $5 XRP is coming soon. I've been underestimating how quickly we've recaptured all-time high, how quickly we're moving towards 4. Still so much gas left in the tank. John J. Hanlon, thank you for the 10 spot. XLM or HBAR, both at current levels. I think the ROI on HBAR is going to be better because XLM's kind of started to run up here. It's at like 50 cents, right? Let me take a quick look at XLM. Yeah, 49 cents. So XLM kind of topping out here right now at 50 cents. Still a great opportunity because I think it's going $2 to $3. But I also think the HBAR could go to a couple bucks. And right now you're looking at HBAR. Where did that HBAR go? 28 cents right now on HBAR. So, right, you get an HBAR here at 28 cents. Write it up to a couple bucks. The ROI at this point would be better for HBAR. But, I'm conservative with XLM. Some people have XLM going up to $3 to $5. So we'll see how far they run it. Zach, true or not, digital ID used for XRP now when selling? No, but watch out because I went to move some XRP off of Uphold and they made me go through an additional like KYC double check that I wasn't, they've been doing this, checking that I wasn't getting scammed, but because of the amount of XRP that I was sending off of Uphold, they made me verify that it was my wallets and had some additional questions as well too. And then it took about 5 or 6 minutes to actually get my XRP off of Uphold onto Zalman. So between the extra KYC that they did, and by the way, I don't blame them for doing the KYC. I'm not complaining about them doing KYC at all. They have to stay in compliance. But in crunch time, when you're trying to make active trades, I mean, depending on how much you're dealing with here, right? For some of us, we're talking about having hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line, maybe millions. And even for the folks that just have, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on the line, it's all relative, right? And so if the transaction across the XRP ledger should take 5 seconds, but here you are waiting 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes for KYC, other things to get done. Next thing you know, you've lost your opportunity. XRP went up to $30 and it's already back down to 25. It went up there, it's already back down to 20. You see how quickly this could move. So that's why I say just make sure that you have a healthy relationship with all of your platforms. Make sure that you have a good connection with your banks, your cards, whatever you have linked up. Make sure you're KYC'd. Yeah, don't be playing around on these platforms that don't service your jurisdiction, especially with big money. If you're having to VPN in and play games, I wouldn't be playing with big money on them, because at any point this bull run, they could just pull you and say, no, we found out you're in the States. Thank you. We're taking your XRP. I've seen it happen time and time again. Shannon, let's get it. That's a big one. Best wake up yet. So thankful for you, Zach. You're truly changing lives, Shannon. It's been a pleasure to meet you, hang out with you in Vegas, Vancouver. The XRP family is live and well. God bless you. And our Canadians up north, we're thinking of you. What, are you guys paying $5 for a XRP these days? I know people in Australia, I think New Zealand was up to $5.50. You guys are going to be up to $6 here soon for an XRP. Now, quick vibe check. Is anybody even thinking about selling? Most of our community is just going to hold their XRP, aren't we? Shannon, thank you so much. God bless you. That's a big one. Thank you. Did you? Oh, what happened here? Okay. Adam bombed it. Thank you for the 10 spot. Hey man, appreciate all the knowledge and confidence you've given us since I got into XRP. Any opinions on ZBEC's current price volatility and ZBCN's future? It's lost the momentum that it had and the attention that it had. It's just the XRP bull run right now. I think that we got to watch XRP finish doing what it's going to do, and then you'll start to see a rotation back into other altcoins potentially. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, usually when you see Bitcoin run, then when its dominance starts to fall off, you get that rotation into Ethereum, XRP, and other coins. Well, ZBEC's down the list. And while XRP is going to new all-time highs and has all the attention, people aren't paying attention to even other, quote-unquote ISO cryptos, right? Like XRP has all the attention right now. XLM has still appreciated well, but you have XDC and others that are still really haven't moved that much. And ZBEC was one where the XRP came in heavy. Obviously, we brought awareness to the XRP community, and you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy, but it's lost its momentum for now. Just from an attention standpoint, I don't think that ZBEC's done. It's not a scam. There's a lot of FUD that's been hitting it, but they just keep building utility, adding team members. They're working, plugging away new partnerships. So I think it will recover. I think it will. I don't think it's done. JD Go Blue, thank you for the 10 spot. YouTube is messing with you. Just want to see if this goes through. Love my XRP family hat. Snapback, Zach. Yes. And I can't say that we got them ready yet, but the hats are almost, we got new hats coming. XRP family merch. Yes, we got a lot more on the way. Bully Wonka, thank you for the 10 spot. Every crypto will pivot into XRP for a period during this run. XRP will take the spotlight and FOMO will make it flood. That's exactly what I was saying, right? ZBEC and some of these others don't have much attention right now because all eyes are on XRP. Yeah. Okay. More comments, questions. Any ideas on Onx coin? So XCN is a coin that we already took profit on. I still hold a bag. I'm still bullish. I think between 10 and 15 cents is my target. I don't think it'll go to its previous all-time high of 18 cents. $6 XRP in New Zealand. There you go. Should I wait for a pullback to buy more? Sean, I wish I could help you. This train's moving. I mean, the train had left the station a while ago, we said, and that was kind of a joke. Nobody took it serious. It really has now. And it's just a dangerous game right now. And this is why FOMO is going to kick in like never before. FOMO really hasn't even started, but it's starting to hit. We're starting to see the early stages of it. And it starts with, you know, your friends and your family finally calling you up. Hey, man, I should have listened to you about that XRP thing. Is the stream coming through good? Or are they attacking us again tonight? Or are you selling any of your XRP this cycle? Yes. Yes, I am. Hopefully not my long-term holdings, but I have a little bit of XRP. Yeah. Any more dog tags? Yes. We have dog tags stacked up and we have new ones on the way. Yep. Do I have the magic carpet for sale? No, I saw that Home Depot was selling the magic carpet though. Clear as day, stream is fine. Yeah, good, great. Thank you, everybody. If you guys haven't already, let's make sure that we've liked the stream. Help us out by sharing it out far and wide. Loving your content, Zach. Thank you for the ZBN call. Jeffrey, thank you for the 20 spot. God bless you guys. You know, just hearing, you know, you guys, it was like, cool, yeah, I made a little flip, but that's meaningless compared to the feedback that you guys have given me on how much you've made on some of these plays. And that's, you know, a team effort. I bring awareness, but I'm never going to tell you to buy. I've never told you to buy XRP. I never will tell you to buy XRP because I don't give financial advice. But I tell you what I'm doing. I wear it on my sleeve every single day. I'll do everything but tell you how much XRP I have. I tell you when I'm, you know, and I won't tell you when I'm selling some. But we're not selling much. Look at Solo. Yeah, we're so bullish on Sologenic. That one's going to print big money for our community. Sologenic, absolutely. Let me go check it. Where's our Solo at? Just getting started. 53 cents. Gosh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This was one of the best gainers after the election. 950% pump for Sologenic. Yes. Big upside on Solo. Previous all-time high is about $6 or 6 XRP. And I think that we could even see double that. $10, $12 Sologenic. In fact, let me look at Dex Screener. It's interesting when you look at these XRP Ledger tokens and these XRP Ledger meme coins. Because if you look, let me get you the daily chart here. Oh, my chart's all jacked up. It's not pulling on, okay. Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, yeah, if you look at it from a market cap standpoint here, this thing got all the way up here above 300 million market cap. It's only at 200 million now. 212 million. We could go a lot higher. If you look at the all-time high price, yeah, it was about $6. $6. But that's what's interesting about these meme coins on the XRP Ledger is right now against their XRP pairing, the memes are basically staying relative. Some of them are even going down. But because XRP is going up in dollar terms, the market cap on these coins is hitting new all-time highs on some of them. I'll show you one example of a coin that I just bought in. I'm excited about this community. I like the meme. I like the meme, and they got a nice little ecosystem going. The ticker's farm on the XRP Ledger. And so I'll show you what I'm talking about right here. Let me see if you guys can Yeah, there we go. Farm versus XRP. And so you can look at market cap in US dollar terms, and you see it's at a new all-time high of 800,000. That's because XRP's been running up all day, right? We'll look at price. It's hitting an all-time high price-wise in US dollar terms. But now if you flip to XRP, you'll see that it's flatlined here. Sorry, not really flatlined, but you'll see that it hasn't hit a new all-time high against XRP. But if you flip back to US dollars, because, right, you're converting farm, you're pairing up farm against XRP and then XRP against the dollar. So that's your dollar price is at a new all-time high. And then from a market cap standpoint at US dollars, it's at a new all-time high too. But I just went into this coin. You know, it's the only meme that I've really bought in the past few months on the XRP ledger. I'd kind of taken a break from the XRP memes. I've been, you know, waiting for XRP to heat back up, and now that XRP is heating back up, we'll start to see, you know, people will be willing to gamble and play around over here in the memes. Completely degenerate activity. Not saying that you should do it. It's completely gambling. But I know that some of you guys like to gamble. So if you're going to do it, we like to show you how to snipe, how to make a move. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you go to First Ledger here, let's go to our market caps. 213 market cap for Sologenic. Fuzzy's up to a 34 million market cap. XRPM, whatever. Army at 31 million. Phoenix at 19 million. Salute at 14 million. And these are still so small compared to other coins in other ecosystems, you know, whether that be meme coins or even like layer 2 coins like Sologenic, which is an actual utility coin. It's not a meme coin, and it's still only at a 200 million market cap. It's so small. And our next best is Fuzzy at 34 million. But as XRP goes up against the dollar, as long as these coins are staying relative against XRP, they'll be printing new all-time high market caps here soon. And you'll start to see that attention. I mean, I'm telling you guys, we're back to, this is more data for me. When I go to Twitter and I see how many X spaces are running right now, right? And today, I saw a Bitcoin maxi space with thousands of people in it, and the Bitcoin maxis were doing what they always do, just coping. Talking about, oh, you know, the government's going to buy our XRP after, or buy our Bitcoin after legislation gets passed. And there's a whole lot of coping over there in the Bitcoin space. Completely ignoring XRP. Talking about how, and this is the part that gets me, is they call Bitcoin the Holy Grail. If you think that Bitcoin is the Holy Grail of investing, you're in a cult that's not helping you get the best ROI. Full stop. Full stop. Hey, I'm a big believer of the First Amendment. You believe in whoever you want to believe in. You want to believe in Bitcoin? That's great. I have nothing against Bitcoin. But if you are considering it, referring to it as the Holy Grail of investing, the Holy Grail of investing, in my mind, provides the biggest ROI. And from where it stands today, we're seeing where the biggest ROI is coming from, clear as day. By the way, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I'll go back up to XRP. I haven't even shown you my XRP chart yet, have I? Guys, check this out. We are up 600. I got to update this, lift it up, 630% since the election. We're back up to 363 as we look at this right now. Here we go. You want a $4 to $5 XRP? I drew that purple box for you. We gave you the time frame. We only underestimated how quickly we would get there. $4 to $5 XRP coming in hot. 630% pump for XRP. How are you doing? Bitcoin, 120,000. Love to see it. Very nice. Well done. 100%. And actually, I messed up. It's not from that low. It's from this date right here, November 4th. Bitcoin was at 66,000. So yeah, we're about to be up 80% for Bitcoin since the election. So for new money coming in, now if you're a Bitcoin billionaire that made your bag off Bitcoin, God bless you. I hope that you're changing the world and creating generational wealth. If you bought Bitcoin under 1,000, under 10,000, great, great, great. That's awesome. For new people coming in, to be telling them that it's the holy grail of investing, when since the election, we're up nearly 10 times as much as Bitcoin. 80% versus 630%. It's not even close. It's time to get on board the XRP train, if you haven't already. Now, we're going to zoom in here. Guys, this is a XRP Pump live. You want to go see new all-time highs? New all-time highs are getting printed as we speak. If you haven't already smacked it and tapped it, what are you doing? We are here to celebrate and turn up tonight, and we got new all-time highs for XRP coming in. I'm going to zoom in on our 15-minute chart. I never do this except when we're in a pump watch live. It's happening as we speak. Here we go, zoomed in, 15-minute. And this is what was so impressive today, guys, is that first move up to 330. We got a strong pullback this morning after we ran up to 330. We pull back here all the way to 317 on Qcoin, but it got bought up so quickly. Less than 15 minutes. I mean, you probably had 5 minutes maybe to scoop up below 320. We bounced back up here, and then you see what happened. We went up to 340. We pulled back all the way down to 328. We're having these big 12-cent pullbacks, and then we just ran right on up to a new all-time high. And this is right when I recorded my second update today. So I recorded my first update after we'd already pulled back and we were back above 330. Or we were at like 325, I should say. And then my second update was after we tapped 340, the previous all-time high, and then we'd pulled back. And then we were back up at like 336 as I was recording the update. And then right as I dropped the update, we'd already popped up to 345. And here we are now, guys, back up to 364, almost 365. We are looking to hit a new all-time high for XRP. Let me check our super chats real quick. I see some more came in. Dark Rider says, so Zach, if 2% of 9 trillion flood XRP, what are we looking at price-wise? Well, let's ask. 2% of 9 trillion at 180 billion. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 180 billion. So that's 180 billion coming into XRP. So on a 100x multiplier, you'd be at 1.8 trillion in market cap growth. So yeah, I mean, this is what's coming into XRP that people don't understand. Is JP Morgan predicted 4 to 8 billion. It's way too conservative. That's what they're willing to admit. In the back room, I think it's a completely different conversation about, tens of billions coming into XRP within the first few years. Maybe even faster. Yeah. Now XRP at a 2 trillion market cap is about a $34 XRP. Last time I checked, the tokenomics might be a little bit different. I remember $1 trillion market cap for XRP was $17, and a 2 trillion market cap was about $34, I believe. Maybe that was 1.8 trillion. I mean, rounding off, but $30 XRP. If we see that $30 XRP, but that would be a new, 1.8, 2 trillion on top of the already 200 billion market cap that we have. So that's just going to add to whatever we've already accomplished Once again, we're back up here to 365 as we speak. All the people that have sold are getting absolutely cooked right now. I mean, you're looking back at this thing right now, and it's just flying. Let me get my... Let's get our pump watch set up there. $3.64. Jason Shalov, thank you for the 5 spot. For those who are asking if it's too late to buy XRP, ask yourself this: would you buy Apple at 360 exactly? You look at all those early tech stocks. Yeah. This is such an immature asset class. Yet for those of us that have been here for 6, 7, 8, 10 years, I mean, it feels like we've been in it for so long. It feels way more mature to us, compared to the new people coming in that have none of that perspective of what it was like buying crypto back in the early days. Tatted Pokey Dude, thank you for the 2 spot. Thoughts on XDC? Also, did you see Trump's idea with the 401k? Yeah, we just talked about that again, right? 9 trillion getting unlocked from the 401ks. It's a massive deal. XDC I'm bullish on. Let me get a price check on XDC. 8.3. So XDC did appreciate today. Okay. Not bad for XDC. USMC Water Rescue, thank you for the 5 spot, brother. God is great, beer is good, and BTC people are crazy. Amen and God bless. Cheers to that, brother. Amen. And thank you for your service. And I'm so glad that you were able to make it into the Discord group, brother. Looking forward to being able to help you out in there and connect with you. Get you in touch with the rest of our community. Great group of people over there in the Discord group. And if there was ever a time to be in our Discord group, it is now. We've had it for over 4 years. We've had people that have been in there the entire 4 years that just love it. It's a small group, tight-knit. And we got some alpha dropping in there. We got some alpha. Good group of people, too. Thomas Conservative, thank you for the 10 spot. Big gains, huh, Thomas? Big ones coming in. Absolutely. Absolutely. XRP, who's going to pump it? Who's going to pump XRP here to new all-time highs? New all-time high watch. We're going to put a new line here on our chart for the new all-time high 366 flat, basically, is what I got on Qcoin. 366 flat. Zach, do you know about the New York Stock Exchange getting tokenized on the XRP ledger with Sologenic and Corium? Yes, very bullish. I was listening to their space today. I caught the last half of it. Very bullish on Sologenic. I've done a deep dive on it too. You guys should check it out. So we, wow, $3.64. Can you believe it? It still doesn't feel real, does it? We were worn down for so long. And now the FOMO kicks in. Because now folks are thinking, oh, crap. I've had stories have started to come in of folks saying, hey, I thought I was going to have access to money. I was thinking about investing. I was just trying to accumulate some more. When's the next pullback? Shoot, I wish I knew. We just watch and let this thing fly now. We just let it fly. 5 a.m. Where's everybody coming at in the chat? I'm approaching, 8:43 on the West Coast, 11:43 Eastern. It's almost midnight. I mean, XRP, if XRP is going to go do a new all-time high, how can we kill the stream? We're going to have to keep the party rolling. Salt Lake City, New Zealand. On Coinbase, it's at 360. Is that true? 360 on Coinbase? Let me pull up the Coinbase chart. I have it down here somewhere. That's going to be this one. 363, 364 on Coinbase. See, this is some more arbitrage, right? Oh, just went down to 360. Oh, see, this is moving quick. This is moving quick, guys. I would never do this, but hey, we're going to have to go to the 5 minute. 5 minute. Wow, we're zooming in. I never do this, but when you're pushing towards an all-time high, it has to be done. There we go. 363. Think about this, the pullback now. I mean, just this pullback right here. Hey man, did you buy the dip to 354? I hope you did, because it only lasted a couple minutes here. We're looking at the 5 minute candles now, so that wick is only a couple minutes maybe. Hey man, did you buy the dip at 354? And to think that down the road we're going to be saying, hey, did you buy that pullback under $5? Did you buy that dip under $10? No gun, just knife. Oh, no gun, just knife. Okay, sorry. Struggling to read that one. 20 spot. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Zach, for years of perseverance and support. I couldn't have done it without you guys. It's been a team effort. And I'm just so excited to see, like I said, you know, people getting out of debt, people being able to give up their job, people being able to, you know, finally have a good retirement, people being able to start their business, people being able to, you know, pay off their house, and then, you know, start building generational wealth. And then we start to look outside of us. What are we going to be doing in our communities? It's going to be life changing. $362.9. Wow. Okay, let's go rapid fire. Thank you. What a day to be alive, Shane. Absolutely. I got myself a nice pump in today, too. I did. I got myself a nice workout in. I figured if XRP was pumping, you know, I better get my butt moving, too. Got to take care of the health if we want to enjoy this wealth. JD Go Blue, thank you for the 2 spot. Market makers creating pump. So, yeah, the thing is this is kind of getting out of their control, because you just have the inflows are overpowering whatever the market makers are trying to do. And you just have a function of the order books in front of us. That's what we're witnessing right now. Is there money coming in or out of the asset? They're you know, the open interest finally started to pick up, so you're getting a little bit more futures trading and playing around, which can impact the market. But it's just more inflows than outflows consistently coming in right now. GCB, thank you for the 5 spot. With the ETFs coming, do you think that we'll still see 50 to 80% declines in coins? Yeah, I do. I think from the very tippy top of wherever we tick, remember, the top of the XRP price chart could happen in 5 minutes, right? XRP could trade above $30 for 2 minutes, and that would be the official all-time high, even though maybe we build a base or structure above $20 after that. But we could have a quick pullback down to $15 from there, and maybe the buying opportunity at $15 only lasts 5 minutes too. So that would officially be a full 50% swing. But if it happens over a more drawn out period, or if it happens really quick on the pullback and then builds a new floor price, you know, most of us will still be up so much. And that to me is what I'm looking for, is not just a pump with no legs, no foundation, no lasting or staying power, but consistent inflows, increasing volume, increasing user base. This is what we want to see to hold these higher prices. And like I was saying earlier at the beginning of the stream, the way that human psychology works, especially in investing, is people want to see others doing the same thing. Most people are not lone wolves. They're not willing to go take risk, right? And so they didn't want to listen to you when you told them to buy XRP at 30 cents. But now that it's at $3 and it's traded up here for a while, it's got structure on it. And especially the psychology of something being worth more than $1. And as it goes up, see, when Bitcoin was, under $1, only a few bucks, even as it got up into $50 or $100, people still really didn't use it to go buy other assets at that point. I mean, some people did, of course, but when people start to say, okay, I can take a chunk of my XRP and go buy a house, right? That's the security and safety that you now have being built out in the XRP price chart, where folks look, okay, this is where I can park money. And although I might have missed the last, 600% pump, I didn't hit a 10 bagger on XRP and buy it under 30 cents, but I can park money here knowing that it's not going to go down back below $2, that it's on a trajectory higher. I can park it here. And for many people that picked up on these lower prices, you have a quantity of XRP that you can start to go buy other assets and businesses with. And now that Bitcoin is over 100,000, right? I mean, this is well established, people using Bitcoin and treating it as a reserve, but then using Bitcoin to go buy other assets and capital expenditures. It goes from, it's the psychology of a penny stock into a legitimate stock that's worth a few bucks. And then you start to look at, these stocks like Nvidia that's over $100. You start to look at, other stocks that are in the thousands. And what people see in that is security. And most people invest looking for security more than they do risk and bigger reward. Looking for 5x and 10x is kind of a degen thing, a new thing for crypto, or, for folks that were looking for 5 and 10x, they were investing in private equity. You didn't go buy the S&P 500 if you wanted to double up your money. Maybe if you wanted to double up after 7 to 10 years. In crypto, we want to double up every 7 days. Our perception of reality and investments is completely skewed, for better or for worse. It is what it is. But for broader market participants, and as folks can call up their 401k financial advisor and say, hey man, can you give me some of that XRP ETF? I see that it's at $5 now. Looks to be pretty solid. And I'm listening to some crazy guys talking about it going to $20, $30, maybe down the road going to hundreds of dollars. Maybe they're listening to some of these TikTokers talking about it going to tens of thousands. And they say, hey man, can you give me some exposure over here? $3.61 right now. Now we're going to ask ourselves, did you buy the dip to 361 as we go up to a new all-time high right now? Did you buy the dip at 361? 401k advisors don't know crap. Yes, and that's why we want you to come fully loaded and prepared when you're conducting your due diligence and asking questions of your financial advisor, your fund manager, or whoever you are going to park money with, the DeFi opportunity, the XRP meme coin that you're going to invest in. Whether it's the meme coin or your financial advisor, we're going to run them through our due diligence. Jake Claver thinks 4 digits this year. I know he does. God bless him. I appreciate it. I told him that in Vegas. I said, man, I'm so glad I can let you talk about XRP at $1,000. Take some heat off of me. Yeah, you got put the target on your back for a bit. You take a turn. $1,000 this year. You tell me whose yacht we're gonna be meeting on when that happens, okay? You tell me. It ain't gonna be my yacht. I'm not buying a yacht, but I'll come to yours, okay? D Auto, thank you for the 2 spot. ZBCN, yeah, ZBC. I still think it runs. Auto, thank you for the 10 spot. Do you think that Ledger is still a good place to keep crypto? I don't prefer to use Ledger much anymore. You know, I like Decent's my favorite right now. I have Decent linked up down below for you guys. That's my favorite wallet right now. I like the Decent and the EliPal. Zach, do you really think that we can get to 20 to 30 bucks this year? Yes. Yeah, I really do. I really do. This run? Yeah, this run. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this run. 360. Oh, no. I thought we were buying the dip, chat. What's going on? I'm not telling you what to do. You guys, most of you guys already got a bag. We're just sitting back and enjoying the show. It's going to be interesting to watch here, though. Little bit of structure being built above 360. I mean, it just sounds weird to me, you know, this coming out of my mouth. Oh, you know, we're building a little structure above 360. Little pullback to 355. 20 cents, 30 cents. Pull back to 15 cents. I remember I didn't buy 11-cent XRP because I thought it was going to 5 cents when the world was ending during the simulation events of 2020. Think about that. I was greedy because I was pulling out my calculator. The little bit of money that I had at the time, because I was, you know, just, you know, grinding to get my bags up. The little bit of money I had, I'm doing my calculations. Oh boy, XRP's at 11 cents now, but if it goes down to 5, and the world's ending, so it's definitely going back down to 5 cents. You know, I'll be able to buy this much XRP. Never went down below 10 cents. And so I think the lowest I bought XRP was 17 cents. Maybe a little bit lower, but yeah. Definitely got some bags under 20 cents. But we're just going to look back and laugh at these moments. A little bit of structure here at 360. We're in no man's land, guys. Are you kidding me, Shane? Shane, brother. Are you out of your mind? Shane, you could have bought the dip with that, brother. $500 super chat. When I tell you we got blessings coming to this community, it's going to come back 100-fold for you, brother. God bless you, Shane. Always been a real one in our Discord community for years. God bless you. I love what you've done for all of us. You've changed my world and many others, bringing the truth to light and fruition. Much love. Thank you, brother Zach. I know one day I'd give you $589. I love you, man. God bless you. God bless. I love all you guys. But for those of you guys that have been here on the back end in the Discord community, and I made the Discord right because we were getting shut down, we were getting censored, and that was when I like to get a little bit more spicy in some of my conversations. Now I've learned what I can and can't talk about, but we formed the Discord group so that we could have a safe space to talk about some of our crazy conspiracy theories. That's really what I created my Discord group for. Fast forward 4 years later, and I got people telling me, you've changed our lives. We've started businesses. Somebody today said that in a short amount of time, they've doubled their net worth. That was somebody's feedback today. I don't want to get emotional because I was listening. I don't want to get emotional on screen here, but I was listening to an X Space earlier today, XRP community members sharing stories in tears about the family members that they've lost along the way, the businesses that they lost along the way, all through this journey. And we're finally out of the storm. And I'll remember what the gal said. She says, we can finally have a fresh start. Losing loved ones, losing businesses from the past 5 years and all the chaos that they put us through. SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, just part of the story. Another gal followed up with her story of how many times she thought about selling off her XRP, but it was these little spaces on X, you know, content creators that, you know, kept her in the game. Also in tears as she shared her story. I'm just thinking, man, it's been a long time coming for our community. And I think that we'll be able to look back and say, all of these things are what made us so much stronger, so much more prepared for when XRP finally did hit for us. Because I think about the man that I was back in 2021 during that cycle, when I first met my wife and we figured out that we were going to be having a baby. And that lit a fire under my behind, to say the least. And for those of you guys that have been with me this entire time, you've been able to see the changes in me. But I went from just being a young kid, 26 years old, having some fun. I started to blow up on TikTok. Oh, this is cool. XRP's in a bull run. This is cool. I found me a lovely wife. And, you know, I find out that our lives are forever going to be changed as we bring a new life into the world. And for me, I took that advantage of that and I said, okay, we already got something cooking, but now's the time to take it to another level. And I look back at what we were able to do just in preparation of my daughter arriving, and it still didn't hit for me until I saw her actually coming out and she actually arrived on the scene. And then it was really game on. It was like, I thought that I'd kicked it up a gear in preparation of her arriving. And then when she arrived, we just took it to a whole nother level. And then in 2023, we found out that we were pregnant once again. And that brought in our son. And that took us to a whole nother level. And the 2022 bear market allowed us to hone in our skills, our analysis on the broader financial markets. I was just the crypto bro XRP hype pumpster on TikTok back in 2021 in reality. Now, I'm downplaying how much education I have on markets and current events because obviously we weren't starting from zero back then. But I look at where we were at from 2021 to here, and then I hear the stories from you guys in the community as well too, and the impact that we've been able to have in your lives. And I think this is what we were able to accomplish from last cycle to this cycle. What we're going to be accomplishing from this cycle to the next cycle. And by the way, yes, I don't think that we're going to see a typical 4-year bear market that's long and drawn out. I do think that we'll see a big pullback from the top. But I mean, if we're talking about an established floor price of XRP at 10, 20 bucks, that's a nice spot to be. If you're telling me that I have to hang out with XRP at 20 bucks for a few years before it goes up to 50 or 100 bucks, we can do that. That's fine. I can manage that, right? Now, some people would say that that's bearish, that's FUD, to say that it's going to take another 3-4 years for XRP to hit 50 or 100 bucks. But to me, I just look at the growth, the perseverance, and the grit within our community, how it's finally being rewarded. And now, you see, here's where it gets exciting, because folks don't have to be on their back heel defensive. For crying out loud, this whole Linqto situation is the most recent attack on our community. And for a lot of people don't understand because they're not invested in Linqto and didn't know about this or weren't paying attention. But for those of you guys who don't know, this is a platform that brought successful investment opportunities to our community, and we added another 2 billion, cumulatively to our net worth. The net worth of our community, and I say our community even though the platform was definitely not just XRP community members, but XRP community members is what put Linqto on. We were a big part of that platform. I'd be curious to see how many of the 15,000 customers on Linqto, how many of them held XRP, because I bet it was a lot. But when you think about that platform added 2 billion of equity and net worth to our community, and now we have private equity profiteers that are trying to strip it out completely, it's another attack. I'm not busting out another folder. Like, I got my red folder right here, and we all love the red folder, right? I don't want to bust out another red folder for Linqto. That was a funny meme and a joke for that case, and I was able to get my message out, which is what it was about. Get the message out about the damages done to our community. I want to celebrate where we're at now. I want to talk about what we're building now, and that's what I'm so excited about, is that we finally get to go on offense, and yet they're trying to a few last sneak attacks are still coming at our community in the form of this Linqto takeover. But we'll persevere. We'll get through. And like I said, now we don't have to be on defense anymore. We get to go on offense. It's not how do I keep holding on my bags? How am I going to figure out how to, make some extra money? The returns are coming, and now we have to figure out what we're going to do with it. Iowa Trapper, thank you for the 10 spot. What to say, thank you. Never heard of anything other than Bitcoin before last December. Since I've been able to build a bag of utility coins based around XRP, your insight has helped a lot of new people. Iowa Trapper, I appreciate it. Hey, just pass it forward. That's all I ask. Tell other open-minded people in your circle, tell friends and family, share it out on your Facebook, share it out on your platforms. Buy some XRP family merch, wear it on your chest. Be careful where you wear it, but if you wear the monkey shirt, not many people, look at it and can read it. So, it's kind of a low key deal, but be careful where you wear the XRP family merch. I don't want you being a target there in the mean streets of some of our cities here in America. So keep your head on a swivel out here. But do your part to educate the people that are willing to be open-minded and willing to learn, because I still think that there is a tremendous opportunity. And the way that XRP is different for me from the rest of the cryptocurrency space is that this is a piece of the new financial system. A lot of these other coins are unproven technology, could be a good idea, could solve a nice problem, an important problem, but the problem's probably not going to be as big as payments, which is well into the quadrillions on a yearly basis. There's a big difference between solving million and billion dollar problems versus solving trillion and quadrillion dollar flows of value. Very big difference. And you can own a piece of that financial system. And I think that we look back on a moment and we say, anybody who was able to acquire 1,000 XRP made it. Anybody who was able to get 10,000 XRP has a real bag. And I know some of you guys got a lot more. Football Sin, thank you, 5 spot. Zach, extremely happy. Made a really bad mistake in 2023, and this helped me come back. There you go. That's what I want this to be for you guys. I understand. Ideally, we would all hold our XRP, and XRP would go to 10,000 bucks. And that's how the story would be written. It'd be a lot of fun. That's not how life works. The reality is some of us will have to take some profit. Some of us are in a situation. And if you get out of that bad situation from XRP, then God bless it, right? Yeah, sure. And here's the thing too. If XRP truly is going to $1,000, some of you can afford to, play with a few along the way, right? I mean, we talk about stacking up 1,000 XRP, stacking up 10,000 XRP. And I said this to our Discord group the other day. I said, if XRP is going to $1,000, we're going to be feeding the world. Just in our community alone, we're going to be feeding a lot of people. XRP goes to $1,000. Because I was responding to a video of a guy who said, you just need 10,000 XRP because it's going to $1,000. So you'll have 10 million. Is that the math on that? 10,000 XRP goes to $1,000. You got 10 million. So as long as you have 10,000 XRP, you're set. And I said to our Discord group, hey, if that's all we need, we'll be feeding the world. Brijal Patel, thank you for the 10 spot. 25 to $30 end of the year, Zach. Let's effing go. Is people now asking me, is it a good time to buy? I've been telling these people since 2017. I work for JP Morgan Chase Bank for 19 years. I know it's coming. JP Morgan might want a piece of the action. JP Morgan might have sent 15 executives to the offices of Ripple. Yeah, we didn't forget about that one. Mr. Patel, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate your support. We can try to help them. You can lead a horse to water. They're going to have to bend down and take a drink. You know what I'm saying? We've been leading them to the water. We've been sending smoke signals. We've been telling them, hey, we got something you should check out. They didn't want to listen at 30 cents. More will start to listen at $3. And unfortunately, the masses will finally know about XRP once it's at $20 and $30. Oh, you were one of those early XRP investors, weren't you? And you'll say, no, yeah, I picked up a couple, but I sold it off too early. I really don't have anything now. You know what I'm saying? That's how we play it. That's how we play that one. Yeah, I was in XRP, but I sold off too soon, unfortunately. That's how I'm going to play it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the super chats. 2 Pyramid, thank you. Football, thank you. Brijal Patel, thank you. Generational Wealth. What's the air below 360, Zach? Well, we literally have no history at this level. That's what's so interesting. You could say right now that 340 would make sense as a support. That would make a lot of sense. As 340 flipping support, I'd have to go pull a fib level to see what we would be at for a fib level as far as support. I know that a lot of people had XRP going to about $4.40. So I still think that we got a run in front of us to above $4. There's really not much of a gap here. There's just buyers that are filling it up with orders on that order book. We're just seeing a steady stream of inflows at this point. Thomas Conservative 10 spot. I still keep to the old ways with the old logo, so only the wise know what I'm repping. Hey, Thomas, I appreciate that. I like that Ripple logo. Is Ledger still a good spot to keep crypto? Auto, I like Decent better. They're no longer supporting Nano S, and the thing I didn't like about the Nano X is you got the Bluetooth. That's why I liked EliPal, because EliPal was air gapped. And then Decent's nice as well for holding a lot of these other cryptocurrencies that Ledger and others didn't. I also like having my assets on Caleb and Brown in institutional grade custody. That's nice too. I know about Uphold's Vault program. I haven't used it. I had the Coinbase wallet a long time ago, never used it in any significant way. But yeah, right now, Ledger is not my go-to spot for sure. Okay, it looks like we're back down to $3.58 right now for XRP. I thought that we were going to keep the pump rolling. What happened here? It's so funny. We pull back here to 358. Oh no. Could I show where to look for the order book? It's coinglass.com. Coinglass.com, okay? Jennifer, thank you. Appreciate it. XRP will hit 4 digits, absolutely no doubt. Yep, let it be. 1970 Legend, thank you for that hundo. Just wish we could have had one more giveaway. Hope the 2 that got 500 XRP will use it wisely. It will be $5 to $10 in no time. Hold on to your behinds. Legend, I appreciate you. That's a big one. And I know you want to give away some tags too. You already gave us some for that. And what I'm doing is I'm preparing right now. We're going to combine the launch of our new XRP hats with some giveaways of dog tags. So stay tuned for that, guys. That's right around the corner. Okay, we're finishing up with the team right now on adding, finishing off our hats, because basically what needs to happen is we're building up our inventory before we blow things up again, because we want to give you guys the best experience possible, obviously. Really, you know, once we send it off in the mail, it's up to them. We've had some issues with Canada. We've been able to ship around the world, but for whatever reason, Canada's been giving us some trouble. Some other jurisdictions. I forget, I was sending something to the East Coast. We were sending somebody merch in New York, something like that. For whatever reason, they held it up in Seattle for like a week, 10 days. 10 days. And we paid priority shipping, actually. So on some of our orders, we've been paying extra shipping to get them to you faster, and then the Postal Service is just messing around. It's like, what's going? You don't get any money back. If you pay for priority mail, and it's supposed to be there in 3 days or whatever, and then they hold it in a spot for 10 days, and then deliver it 3 weeks later, they don't give you a refund or not, you know. So it's one of those deals where, you know, once we ship it off, it's kind of out of our hands. And so, you know, obviously trying to just speed up that process by making sure that the next time we do giveaways or we do the launch of the new hats here shortly, we're just going to make sure that we have our inventory ready to stock up. And typically when you guys do place an order for the XRP family merch, we're having it shipped out in the next 48 hours almost every time. So we've sped up our processes by loading up on inventory, adding more people. And so if you have any questions about the merch, any orders, just email us merch@zachrector.com. But 1970, we're getting ready to do that dog tag giveaway in combination with the new hats. And so that's all on the way. Flo, thank you for the 2 spot. Papa XDC is breaking out the next XRP. Yeah, I'm a big fan of XDC. Got a nice bag of it. Super Din MT, thank you for the 20 spot. Been following you for years. Can't thank you enough for what you give to this community. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, guys. It looks like the XRP pump is chilling out. You know what's crazy though? We're going to wake up and XRP is going to be at like 380. That was the pullback. That was the pullback right there to 358. We're already back up here, 359. Hopefully you bought the dip at 358 because we're moving higher now. Oh, Charles asks, I want to get that t-shirt collection. Are they all available? Yes. Yes, that's a good note. Let me make a note to that too. We've been meaning to do that. I thought that we actually did. We were going to create a couple different bundles so that you could get a little discount when you order, some of the bundles that we were going to put together. And maybe we'll do bundles with the hats too. Yeah, stay tuned for that. Open Road, thank you for the 5 spot. July 26th is a 13-month calendar. New Year, XRP to the moon. Gracias, Zach. Thank you, Open Road. July 26th is a 13-month calendar. Okay. I'll have to check that calendar. Make a family pack. Let's do that. You going on vacation again, Zach? Brian, no. No vacation. Well, I'm going camping. We are planning on going camping. Zach's still going. Abs, Johnny, and Mario were too tired. I saw the Good Morning Crypto guys were going late night here. A little good evening crypto. Shout out to their team. Love those guys. Legend, you're too much, man. Goodness gracious. Legend drops another 200. He says, how about the first 5 or 6 new hats on me also? Legend, you got it. I'm gonna add to it. We're gonna do it big. You're too much, man. Goodness gracious. XRP fam. Yeah, so yeah, we gave away 1,000 XRP. That was from Legend. Just amazing. And we actually gave away some more too. Yeah. Legendary. Legendary. Guys, I'm going to end on that happy note. I hope you got the dip there at 358. I think we're going to wake up in the morning, do maybe a little bit higher, 360, 370. Can we make another stab here at $4? $4. What do you say? To everybody who lasted for 2 hours here tonight, thank you. Probably wasn't too hard since you've been in this community for years. Many of you wrote it out for 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe longer in the XRP community. Your patience is finally paying off and you deserve everything that's coming your way. Many blessings for this community. I'm so excited to see what we're going to be able to do on the other side of this price appreciation. Truly life-changing. The beginning or fortifying of generational wealth for many families. From my family to your family, thank you. God bless. And I will see you guys tomorrow with another update. We are not going anywhere, okay? I love you guys. We'll see you in the morning. God bless.